Thank you for being here and watching this video. If you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I want this channel to be more than just a collection of videos. I want it to be a community where we explore fascinating ideas, discuss them openly, learn from one another, and grow together. So don't stay silent, join the conversation. To master the characteristics of communication and understand the layers of human interaction, we must analyze how different linguistic frameworks shape our world. In many languages, distinct linguistic layers correspond to different styles of communication, creating a complex web of meaning and social identity. In German, for instance, a Hochdeutsch, or Standard German, functions as a supraregional norm used in education, media, and formal discourse. It provides a codified system that enables clarity and scalability across vast regions. At the same time, many Germans speak regional dialects, such as Bavarian or Swabian, in their everyday lives, to optimize for local efficiency and tribal identity. This phenomenon is often described in the sociolinguistics as Diglossia, a concept that highlights how we switch between a high formal language and a low informal variety, depending on the social context. In China, the situation is structurally different, but equally fascinating. Spoken varieties such as Mandarin, Cantonese, and Wu can be mutually unintelligible to the ear, yet the writing system remains largely unified across these forms. This creates a unique separation between spoken and written language, where a shared visual code maintains coherence across massive linguistic boundaries. This illustrates one of the core characteristics of communication. The channel and medium determine the reach of the message. While the spoken word may fail to cross a provincial border, the written character preserves the integrity of the information. This structural layering is not limited to geography. It extends into our professional lives through the development of Sociolects and Jargon. Professional and social groups develop their own communication codes to reinforce group identity and exclude outsiders. In the IT sector, terms like API, deployment, or scalability carry precise meanings that function as compressed data for those within the group. To an outsider, this jargon may appear as an opaque barrier, but to the professional, it is a high-performance tool for efficiency. Subcultures operate similarly, utilizing slang and coded expressions as markers of hierarchy and group boundaries. Across all these cases, communication is governed by specific rules and stylistic norms, whether we are navigating a formal standardized language or professional jargon. The structure of our interaction determines not only how messages are delivered, but also who is able to understand them. Context dependence is perhaps the most critical characteristic to master. Communication never exists in a vacuum. Meaning is shaped by the cultural, social, and situational environment. The same phrase can signal deep respect, cutting irony, or overt aggression, depending on where and how it is used. This is why identical linguistic forms behave differently across environments. Furthermore, effective communication assumes a shared base of knowledge, or a common ground. Without it, even the most grammatically correct messages fail to land. This is particularly visible in high-stakes professional environments, where a lack of shared context leads to a total collapse of the communication loop. There is also a constant trade-off between clarity and efficiency. Formal language maximizes clarity, but is cognitively heavier and slower to produce. Informal speech or shorthand increases speed, but reduces accessibility for those outside the immediate circle. High-performance communication requires the ability to adapt dynamically, shifting between these modes depending on the objective. Ultimately, human communication is a symbolic and abstract capacity. It allows us to represent concepts far beyond our immediate physical experience, such as time, morality, and metaphysics. This is what enables complex systems like science, philosophy, and religion to exist. However, every system remains vulnerable to noise. Whether it is physical sound interference, psychological bias, or semantic misinterpretation, the more complex the message, the higher the risk of distortion. Robust communication systems compensate for this through redundancy and feedback loops. By understanding these structured layers and the rules that govern them, we can move from being passive participants in conversation to becoming master strategists of meaning. We begin to see that communication is not a single uniform process, but a performance that requires constant adjustment to the audience, the medium, and the goal. The characteristics of communication extend deeply into the realms of pragmatics and social dynamics, where intent often overrides the literal content of our words. Understanding the layers of human interaction requires us to look beyond what is said and focus on what is meant. Pragmatics, the study of implied meaning, shows us that irony, sarcasm, and indirect speech are the true drivers of human connection and conflict. Misreading intent is one of the most common failure points in any communication system. Even when the code and structure are perfect, a failure to grasp the underlying pragmatics can lead to total misunderstanding. This is where the social function of language becomes apparent. We don't just speak to transfer information. We speak to signal our identity, our position in a hierarchy, and our belonging to a specific group. Dialects and sociolects function as powerful markers of in-group membership. When a person uses professional jargon or niche slang, they are making a claim about their status. This is why subcultures are so protective of their coded language. To master the characteristics of communication, one must become an expert in adaptability. Effective communicators are those who can code switch seamlessly between formal and informal styles, simplifying complex concepts for a general audience while maintaining technical precision for experts. This flexibility is what allows a leader to navigate dynamic environments where static communication would fail. Reliability and credibility also act as massive multipliers for meaning. The trustworthiness of the source directly affects how a message is received. The same information delivered by a credible authority versus a questionable source can produce opposite reactions. Feedback loops are the corrective mechanism of the communicative process. Unlike a one-way broadcast, real-time interaction allows for constant adjustment based on verbal and non-verbal cues. Without this iterative process, error rates increase significantly, leading to the noise and distortion that plague complex organizations. This is why face-to-face interaction remains the most efficient form of high-level communication. It provides the highest density of feedback per second. In the digital age, we have sacrificed some of this immediate feedback for the permanence and structure of written media. While the Chinese writing system illustrates the power of a unified visual code to bridge spoken differences, it also reminds us that the medium dictates the constraints of the message. To build a robust communication system, whether in a business or a personal relationship, one must account for the clarity versus efficiency trade-off. We often try to be fast when we should be precise, or we become too formal when the situation calls for the speed of a dialect. The most successful communicators are those who treat language as a portfolio of assets, choosing the right tool for the specific market conditions of the moment. They understand that every interaction is a performance with specific metrics. Are we trying to build rapport? Are we trying to transmit a technical instruction? Are we trying to establish a boundary? Each goal requires a different layer of the linguistic spectrum. As we look at the symbolic and abstract capacity of our language, we realize that we are the only species capable of communicating about the future or the past with such granular detail. This allows us to build civilizations, but it also creates the potential for massive semantic confusion. We use abstract symbols to describe our values and our visions, yet these symbols often lack a shared common ground. The work of a great communicator is to build that ground, piece by piece, through repetition and clarification. By acknowledging that communication is a structured, multi-layered process, we can reduce the stress associated with being misunderstood. We stop seeing a failure to communicate as a personal attack and start seeing it as a technical issue with the code, the context, or the feedback loop. Mastering these characteristics isn't just about becoming a better speaker. It's about becoming a better analyst of human nature. It is about understanding the invisible threads that connect us across dialects, jargons, and cultures, and using those threads to weave a more coherent and resilient reality. Thank you for watching all the way through. I really appreciate you being here. Let me know what you think about the ideas in this video, and feel free to share your own perspective or advice in the comments. I genuinely like to read it. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please like the video and subscribe. My hope is to build not just a channel, but a community where people explore meaningful ideas, exchange thoughts, and grow together. See you in the next videos. Bye.